see the glitter in your eyes. I know that it's on the skies. I see you shining so bright, glowing like an LED light. I know it hasn't always been this way, and I trust when I hear you say, I'm trying my best to be here now and give what comes around. One more smile and pass the joy around. One kind word can change someone's world. You just need to look out for the things that make you smile. Everything will be brighter for a while. Oh, how I so look up to you. With all that pain that you've been through, you could hold on to all the hurt, but you know that only makes it worse. Each time you step into the room, you know that you could change the whole mood of everyone sitting in there. You just pull up a chair and say, one smile and pass the joy around. One kind word can change someone's world. You just need to look out for the things that make you smile. Everything will be brighter for a while. When it seems life is moving too fast, you just gotta be the one to make it last. Be there for others as they are for you, 'cause you know what it is. One smile can pass the joy around. One kind word can change someone's world. You just need to hold on to the things that make you smile, and everything will be brighter for a while.
Thank you. That was the amazing Grayson Nierenberg. Thank you. He'll be back to bless us with more of his beautiful original music. But first, we're going to start the way we always do with an opening treatment, which is our word for affirmative prayer. So I invite you to close your eyes and to hear these words as if they were your own. Right here, right now, I bring my consciousness from the outer world of circumstance and condition to the inner world where divinity lives, to that place within me of smiles, of joy, of laughter, of oneness, of wholeness, that place of my inner landscape where I recognize the oneness of all of life. How blessed are we to be in this beautiful teaching and to be in this community together where we get to know this and affirm this and co-create our lives together. I am grateful to know this truth and to affirm this good for each one here. We are all expressions of this same divine givingness, this same creative energy, this same love. And today, I affirm for each one here and each one listening that we remember that we align with that, and that we bring it forth into the world in greater and greater ways, from a deeper and deeper understanding of the truth of who and what we are. And so, with deep gratitude and grace and loving expectation of the demonstration of this word, I simply release it into law, into that ever-present and loving law that does unto us as we believe. And so I know that as I think it, speak it, and do truly believe, so it must be. And so I simply let it go. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. So, welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Morristown, a vibrant community where love, joy, and inclusivity are at the heart of everything we do. Here, we honor the unique journey of every soul, offering a place of healing, growth, and celebration. Together, we create an atmosphere of openness and love, where every person is seen, valued, and accepted just as they are. My name is Lori Carlson, and I'm a licensed practitioner here at CSLM. Thank you for joining us, whether you are here in person or you didn't oversleep on this first day of daylight savings, or whether you're watching the live stream or checking out the recording because you did oversleep. We are happy that you are part of this journey of shared wisdom, light, and transformation. If this is your first time with us, and I don't see any first timers, but just so you know, if you're watching online, if you come for the first time, you get a free book. So come get a free book. I hope that everybody is on our Constant Contact newsletter, but if you are not, please sign up in the back. You can also visit our website at cslmorristown.org. Like I said, I'm always honored to work with Grayson Nierenberg, who will be back to bless us with more original music. So, the 2026 CSL theme this year is Open at the Top. And the monthly theme for March is What If? Right? What if? Such a great topic. And my topic for today is traveling in a world of my creation. So I'm going to be talking about creating your own inner landscape and how that affects what you bring to the world. But first, we are going to start the way we always start after our treatment, which is with our Namaste practice. So, Namaste is the Sanskrit word for the divinity within me, recognizes and honors the divinity within you. So I'm going to invite you to bring your hands together, to turn to someone, and to simply say Namaste. Okay, and now I am very happy to bring back Grayson for a beautiful song called Heart of Gold.
Thank you, Lori. This is, if not the first, one of the first songs I ever wrote. Maybe 5 years ago now, 6. It's been a while. And yeah, I felt it was on topic today. I haven't played it in a while, or sang it in a while. So I hope you enjoy it.
This journey in life, we may not choose the roads, but we work towards our destination. The things I thought were in right, able to give me inspiration. This journey within, all we can do is have some patience in this crazy world we live in. It's pulling me closer, though I still feel it, Jason. I know it's gonna be alright when we're in love with it. I know it's gonna be just fine when we get stressed so thin. Cause everybody's looking for the thing, everybody's missing it for me. Gotta find yourself and you gotta love yourself. Is it time is passing or am I just flying by? Wanna make it past cause I can say goodbye. Cause I know that I just wanna cry. Get up this feeling, I won't make it through the night. Gotta relax, now I'm losing my mind. Take some deep breaths around the bottle of wine. They gotta pick and just keep serving these chords. You know the same thing that just keep me from getting bored.
from within, right? That's what I'm going to be talking about today, about the things that we create within that allow us to show up in our lives and for the world at large, right? You know, a couple weeks ago I spoke about embracing the edge of possibility, right? On Zoom, we had the possibility of Zoom. And so this is sort of a part 2 to that, because to embrace the edge of possibility, we have to nurture our own selves. We have to, I'm going to say, create and maintain our inner landscape. That's going to be the major metaphor for my day. So, what are you doing to do that, right? Ernest Holmes says, life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it. Right? That's one of our very well-known quotes in this teaching. But it doesn't mean what you think into it occasionally. It doesn't mean what you wish. It means what you think consistently and repeatedly, right? And with intention. He also says, we are surrounded by a creative mind which receives the impress of our thought and acts upon it. That's what the law is. That's the core of this teaching, how we co-create our lives. And this is both exhilarating and a little sobering. Okay, that was not a pun, for those of you that know my story. But it is exhilarating because it gives us agency. But we also have to accept responsibility. Does everybody understand the difference between responsibility and agency? So there's a really simple way to think of that, right? Responsibility is my consciousness affects my reality. And agency is I get to choose my consciousness. I get to make the choice of what I think and where I put my attention. So if you just accept responsibility without agency, it can feel a little like guilt, right? Like, oh, I'm responsible for all this. And if you have agency without responsibility, it can feel a little bit like magical thinking. But together, it's co-creation. Together, it's what we believe in this teaching. And we can only bring to the world that which we have, right? You can't give what you don't have. You can't give love if you don't come from a place of love. You can't give peace, you can't bring peace to the world if you're not coming from a heart of peace. And so that is what is ours to do, to create an inner landscape that allows us to show up for the world in a way that brings to the world the best of what we believe, right? The best of ourselves. That loving presence that we know, that we believe we are all expressions of. So let me ask you something. What does your inner landscape look like? I'm going to ask you all right now. Close your eyes and just consider, honestly, without judgment, what does my inner landscape look like right now? It might be a beautiful field of flowers, or it might be a field of weeds. It might be a beautiful, pristine mountain, or it might be a pile of rocks. Just think about what your inner landscape looks like. And then take a breath and consider what you wish your inner landscape to look like. What do you want your inner landscape to look like? What would be your ideal inner landscape? And then, take a breath. And what are you willing to do to create it? And to tend it? And to maintain it? Because all of that is agency. All of that is in your ability to choose. And it always comes back to choice, right? I feel like I'm always saying the same thing. It always comes back to choice. You get to choose whether you're living in a cramped, dirty landscape cluttered with old thoughts and limiting beliefs and fears and resentments and anger, or whether you're choosing to nurture and maintain and create and paint an inner landscape of love and beauty and truth and harmony and wisdom that is always within your ability. But it takes choice. It takes conscious attention. So, does anybody in here ski? Okay, well, I don't, but my boyfriend was a big skier. And you know how surprised I was when I found out that resorts and the best ski places groom the trails? Does anybody know that? Yeah. Like, okay, well, I did not know that. I thought the snow fell and people skied and that was like, you know, like, I mean, I know sometimes they make snow, but I never really thought about the fact that at night, they purposefully and intentionally go out and groom the slopes so that the next day's skiers have a better experience. Well, that's what we need to do with our inner landscapes, with our inner slopes. We need to groom them consciously, with intention. We need to create a pathway that's easy and smooth and graceful because we've done the work. Right? And that's always up to us to do. So, you know, because I spend a lot of time in this teaching, I'm constantly having experiences that remind me of a teaching, that remind me of the truth that I know here. And so I'm going to be using a lot of metaphors. Bear with me, I'm a poet. But so I was walking in Jockey Hollow a couple weeks, actually it was last week. Hard to recognize now because most of the snow's gone, but I was walking in the snow in Jockey Hollow, right? And as I was walking, I realized a couple things. First, I realized how out of shape I am because I used to walk twice as fast and twice the distance. And I realized, oh, yeah, Lori, you haven't done anything for a couple months. I'm aware that when I want to have a physical experience of well-being, I have to do the work. I have to do the exercises. I have to do the stretches. I have to go out and walk. I can't just put my yoga mat on the floor and not get on it, which I'm guilty of doing. So, I think we all understand that, right? We all understand that we need to participate in our physical well-being. That we're not going to go out and hike if we haven't, you know, maintained it, right? That's easy to accept, and I think we all know that. But what about our inner work? What about that inner landscape, that inner being? What are you doing to nurture that, to maintain that? Are you exercising those muscles? Are you grooming those slopes? Because I know that if I don't, then I'm just as out of breath in my spiritual world as I was hiking in Jockey Hollow. I know that if I don't do my prayers, my meditation, my affirmations, my service, my community work, if I don't stay in touch with that place within me that is one with the divine, then I am not going to be able to show up the way that I want to show up in the world. And that is a conscious choice. And that is that thing that I talk about all the time in treatment, right? I just did in the opening treatment, that place within where divinity lives. But it needs to be nurtured. It needs to be maintained. It needs to be groomed. What is it we say in this teaching? As within? Absolutely. And so, you know, as I was walking in Jockey Hollow, I also realized, oh, look, that field over there, it's all so white and pristine, how beautiful. The sun is glistening on it. And I thought, oh, sort of a metaphor for that place within us that is perfect, whole, and complete, right? That place of inner divinity. And then as I got closer, I realized, oh, look, it's all splattered with mud from the cars going by. There's footprints all over it. It's trampled in places. There's, you know, like weird accumulations of snow. And it's not so pristine. But here's the thing. I had the choice of where I chose to focus my attention. Was I going to say, oh, look, there is still a pristine field there? Or am I going to focus on the mud splatters and the footprints and the things that seem to disrupt it? Because we all have that, right? In our inner lives, we are born perfect, whole, and complete. We believe that in this teaching, right? We are not of that belief that we are born sinners. We believe that we are born perfect, whole, and complete, like that pristine field. But then life happens, right? Footpaths form, our neural pathways, mud splatters. We have episodes of criticism and trauma and fear and grief, and things happen that seem to mar that pristine field, that can seem to make it a distant reality instead of that place of knowing within us, that place where we live. But that is the work. Let me tell you, sometimes my inner field looks like a pack of wild dogs have been running around in it. But it is the work to groom it. It is the work to remember it. The spiritual journey is about coming back again and again to that place within that is the divine, to recognizing it within ourselves, even when things look dark, even in the chaos of the world, even when there's confusion, even when there's grief. Coming back again and again, because when we know who we are, and when we see ourselves as that pristine field, then we are better able to see it in others. Because the truth is, it is within each of us. It is within me, it is within each of you, and it is within those people where it is the hardest to see. They have it too. And it is our work on this metaphysical path as spiritual beings, as people on a spiritual journey, to look for it, to have that agency, to choose to see it. Because when we do that, it shapes our entire experience. When we choose how we look, it affects the world around us, right? We believe in one mind. We believe that our consciousness affects the greater consciousness. And when you do that, you are bringing greater good to the world. So, I'm sorry, I have so many stories of what happens to me, but I was in a self-defense class last week, and once again, I heard a metaphor for this spiritual journey, because the teacher, we were doing karate, and he said, you don't envision hitting someone, you envision hitting through, because you go beyond, right? And I went, oh, it's just kind of like the spiritual journey. We see beyond. We don't stop at appearance. We don't stop at circumstance. We look beyond, right? We look beyond and beneath to that field, to that pristine field that we know, that we all know in this teaching is there, even as difficult as it may be to see. So Ralph Waldo Emerson said, what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. I think I've quoted that here before, but it is one of my favorite quotes. Because to me, that really is the filter through which we see the world, right? What lies within me is how I see everything else. And so, it comes back down to self-care, right? To grooming those fields, to doing what fills your cup. Because if you don't have it, how can you give it? How can you bring it? You can't bring what you don't have. And you know, I read somewhere that it only takes a 10% of the population to make a shift, right? So we want to be in that 10%. We want to see the good, to look for the field, to nurture our own field so that we can shift the momentum. I know that there's a lot going on in the world that makes it difficult to stay positive. But that's the work. That's what is ours to do. Not spiritual bypass, not la la la, everything's good, we're all one. But to say, even when things are difficult, I choose to nurture myself so I can show up as love, so I can make my field a pristine field of love. Paint a landscape of hope and faith so that I can see it and draw it forth in others, in those who need it the most, in those we struggle with the most. Because we can't bring peace to the world if we don't have it within ourselves. The Dalai Lama says, we can never obtain peace in the world if we neglect the inner world and don't make peace with ourselves. World peace must develop out of inner peace. So, I'm not saying that if you end an argument with a friend or make up with your sister that you're going to solve the wars in the world. But I am saying it starts there. It starts with being at peace with everything in your world, in your landscape, doing the little things you can do, because then you have something to bring. Then you are coming from a consciousness of love. And you can show up that way in the world. And the world needs it so badly right now. So I'm going to share a poem with you later, because as I was doing this talk, I found a poem of mine that I wrote last year that has a line in it that I really love called The Pastels of Imperfection. So I'm going to say, we are always painting our world, right? We are always painting our inner canvas. Science Mind magazine, we have some back there. I still stand by my offer that I've made here several times. If you buy one and don't get anything out of it, I'll refund you the money. Reverend Christy Hardwick says this week, for each of us, our lives are our art. Every decision we make is like a stroke of the brush. Every decision we make can also leave blank space to let the vision emerge. So what are you painting with? What are you painting, and what are you painting with? Right? I mean, the pastels, who's an artist? I know we have many artists in here. But so, what is one thing pastels do that other medium don't do? Smudge. They blur, they blend, right? So if you paint with the pastels of imperfection, you get to blur the edges. You get to blend and create something new, right? And what is it that, what's his name? Ross, Bob Ross always says, there are no mistakes, there are only happy accidents, right? Because we have the agency to choose to create beauty out of whatever is available to us. We have the agency to focus on the good. So, you know, I think I've shared this here before too, but I have a friend in New Orleans who has a beautiful garden and an amazing house. She's an artist and she has all this art. And she says, I'm creating the painting I want to live in her garden and in her house. And I just love that. Because to me, we are always creating the painting we live in. But when you do it with conscious choice and intention, then you get to choose a world that works for you and brings you joy. Thoreau says, the world is but a canvas to our imagination. And when I talked about embracing the edge of possibility, I talked about what can you imagine, right? But today I'm talking about what are you choosing to paint with? Because we have all these tools available to us, right? We can paint with joy, we can paint with smiles, we can paint with service, we can paint with cooking, we can paint with music, we can paint, there are so many ways that we can paint our canvas and fill our cup and groom our field, whatever metaphor you want to use, but we have to choose it. We have to consciously decide whether to paint it or allow circumstances to paint it for us. Because there is a lot of distraction and things going on that will fill your landscape with ugliness if you let it, right? But that is your choice, and that is your work, and that is your responsibility, and the joy is you have the agency to do that. We are not victims. We are conscious co-creators in a world that works for everyone, right? That's what we want. And so, in the world, when we see things we don't like, we show up as love. We show up with compassion. We show up with understanding. We show up with kindness. And what are the ways that you can do that? Well, how do you balance that? Well, I know I've said this so many times, but you balance the input. It's really important to me. I paint my landscape with a lot of input. And I choose that input. I choose good news. I choose to listen to uplifting music. I choose to see beautiful art. I choose to read poetry. I choose to read the Science of Mind magazine and to do my studies and to have prayer calls and to do meditation and all of these things. I choose to do them to balance out all of the social media and all of the news and all of the distraction and all of the negative things that I see in the world. I try to balance them. I don't turn a blind eye to them. I do what is mine to do. I am called to do a lot of things. I do what is mine to do, and I hope everyone else is as well. But I balance it out. I don't go down the rabbit hole of despair. I don't get lost in, I watch a lot of comedy, When I see the news, I switch right over to comedy. I'm like, okay, I need a few minutes of laughter. And so I have that as part of my practice because it's how I keep my landscape groomed in hope and in faith and in love. So what are you painting with, and what are you willing to do? Are you willing to balance your input? Are you willing to be filled up with beautiful sound? I'm staying for the sound bath today. That's one of the ways I fill my cup. Are you willing to have a difficult conversation with compassion and understanding? Are you willing to spend a little more time in self-care? And just acknowledging that you don't always have to be doing, you just need to be tending that field. Are you willing to show up and look for that field in others? Are you willing to be the love that you want to see in the world? I think that's really what we're all here for, right? That is the truth of who we are. And I love this quote by the writer Annie Dillard. Says, "The artist is not a special kind of person. Every person is a special kind of artist." And I just love that because that's the agency, right? I don't really consider myself an artist. I mean, I'm a poet, but every person, we are all artists. We are all creating the landscapes of our lives, and that collectively creates the world. So let's be part of that 10%. Let's help with our own understanding so that we can shift the dynamic, so we can shift the consciousness of the world towards good and greater good, towards a world that works for everyone. Because Lord knows the world needs us. And the more that the world needs us and the more difficult it is, the more important and the more courageous it is to hold that vision and to make those choices and to do those things that allow you to show up that way. So let's start by blessing ourselves and blessing others. Let's start by grooming our own inner field and remembering that pristine beauty that we are, right? We know we are perfect, whole, and complete, and so is everyone else. And it's our job to remember that. So I'm going to come back with a poem and a little guided meditation to help us remember that. But first, Grayson is coming up to grace us with another song.
This is just a cute little tune that I wrote called My Life. And I hope you enjoy. My life is a history book. My life, if I let you have a look, could be filled with joy and happy memories, filled with sorrow and deep dark seas. My life is whatever I make of it. My past has nothing to take from it. I want all good things for me, but that hasn't been the case, you see. 'Cause my life is a funny comedy. My life has a lot to offer. choose to learn from it. Instead of hiding in that deep hole, I can find new ways to thrive. I can find new ways to survive. My life has a lot to offer me, and my life can be a silly comedy. My life is only lived by me. My life is whatever I want it to be. In the end, it's just us and ourselves. We need not take care of everybody else. When you start to see the truth, there's no going back with you. So take care of you and I'll take care of you. Together we can fix a world that's in need. But for now, if you don't know what to do, start with just taking care of me.
OMG, and you didn't write that for today. You didn't write that and tell me it was so perfect, Grayson. So amazing that it just totally sings. I love when that happens. So, I'm going to lead us now in a little guided meditation to come into that inner field within. So, I invite you to close your eyes, to settle into the moment, and to just take a breath. Take a breath and feel yourself settled in your chair. And just arrive right here, right now. And then bring into your awareness your inner landscape. Whatever that looks like for you. Just take a moment and look around. Notice what it looks like, what it smells like. Just really be there. And now bring your awareness to how has that maybe changed just a little since this talk. Has your inner landscape perhaps opened up a little? Maybe the little grain of willingness has allowed you to see a greater field, or allowed you to dust off a shelf in your inner landscape, or wipe away some of those footprints going through your field. Just notice. And if there hasn't been any change, that's okay too. Just become aware. And I invite you to recognize that whatever your inner field looks like, even if it's trampled with footpaths of negative thoughts and limiting beliefs, just be aware of it without judgment, recognizing that you always have the agency to change it, to groom it, to make it back into that pristine field. Or you can simply enjoy the footprints. Sometimes there is beauty and art in the chaos, right? But whatever it is, choose intentionally. And know that this inner landscape of yours affects the outer world. in how you show up, in what you bring, and in who you are. So take a deep breath in and breathe in self-love. And exhale out anything that looks like self-judgment. And on your next breath, breathe in self-compassion. And breathe out anything that looks like self-criticism. And then on your next breath, breathe in compassion for others. And exhale out anything that looks like separation or us versus them thinking. Breathe in oneness with the pristine field within you. And exhale out a consciousness that it exists in each one. Breathe in the willingness to look for it. And exhale out anything that stands in the way. And then I invite you to just consider what you are painting with. Maybe you want some color in your pristine field. That's okay, that's wonderful. Pick up that pastel or that paintbrush and brush, paint, create with colors of love, with colors of joy, with colors of self-care, knowing that your inner world creates your outer world. And if we want to see in the larger world a greater world of peace and love, we have to be that. We have to bring that. So just take a breath of gratitude for the choices that you have, for the awareness of your ability to co-create your life, and for the artist that you are, that we all are. Today we paint with the art of love. Say silently to yourself, today I paint with the art of love. In fact, repeat after me aloud. Today, we paint with the art of love. And so it is. Okay, I invite you to open your eyes. Thank you, Grayson. And come back into the room. And, sorry guys, but I'm gonna read this poem because I found it and I had forgotten all about it and I kind of like it, so I'm gonna share it. It's called Work in Progress. And it's one of the ways that I fill my soul. It's one of the ways that I paint my landscape with poetry, right? So, and I get to share that. And I encourage all of you to share whatever fills your soul, every opportunity that you have. So I'm taking this opportunity. So it's called Work in Progress. Today, I paint with the pastels of imperfection and make chalk drawings on driveways of chances yet unfulfilled, and trips waiting to be washed away by the rain, while the vehicle of my dreams waits patiently on the tarmac for the next stroke, the next line, or maybe it's more shading, mimicking the shadows where I perch. The shape of what's to come, still just a vague vision in my mind. Not quite defined, but forming. Always forming. As I sit here on the hard asphalt, allowing the colors of my heart to speak, boldly and brightly, at least for this moment, before melting away and morphing into something I now call abstract beauty. The riotous flashes of anger and regret smoothed by a palette of acceptance, seeing more than is there, painting the pain until it fades away, leaving only the imprint of moments melted and melded into memories, now precious and captured in love, deserving of oil to stand the test of time. So, thank you. Thank you. Like I said, it's one of the ways that I get to share my joy and fill my cup. And it just spoke to me in terms of the message of today. Just like Grayson's song was so in syncing. He wrote that song 5 years ago. I wrote that poem a year ago, but it just seemed to totally sync with today's message. So now it is time for our conscious giving basket. Okay, so I invite you to give. Here, this is how we get to show up for our community, right? This is how we show our abundance. This is one way we paint our landscape. This is one way we nurture our field, by creating and maintaining and sustaining this beautiful community of which we are a part. And so I invite you to give generously, to give from your heart, to give from a pristine field of knowing that you are perfect, whole, and complete, and there is always enough. And so from that place, I invite you to give joyously, gratefully, and generously. And simply say with me, I give my gift with complete understanding that it returns to me multiplied abundantly and goes forth to create good. And so it is. Okay, so the basket's being passed. You can give on Venmo, PayPal, on our website. Hit the donate button. There are lots of ways to give. You can give by sponsoring a social hour or participating in our events. You can give by coming in a sound bath later. You can give by supporting all the things we do here. So, from that place, also here are our announcements. Like I said, we have an amazing sound bath. Starts at 1 o'clock with Kat Roman. There is a QR code on the flyer back there, or you can just talk to me. I'm doing the registration, so if you are not registered and you want to stay, just come talk to me. We have chair yoga that Deborah Schmidt is leading for us next Sunday, March 15th at 1 o'clock. There's a sign up in the back of the sanctuary. We have a new CSLM book club that is starting on Monday, March 16th from 6 to 7:30. The first book selection is What the Hell is Self-Love Anyway by Jonathan Ashley. All are welcome. There's a flyer with more information back there. We have our Winter Movie Festival. The next one is at the end of the month on 3/27 at Sciala Hall. We had a great participation at the last one, so come at the end of the month to the next one. I don't know what the movie's going to be or anything. We have a new thing going on here called discussion groups, a place to belong, believe, and become. So the first one, on the last Sunday of every month, we are going to have a discussion group talking about Science of Mind principles. We're going to talk about what was the topic for that month in the Science of Mind magazine, the monthly topic. Reverend Janice is doing the first one on March 29th, and then I will be doing April, and then Gail will be doing May. So come for that. It's just an opportunity to deepen your understanding, right? And to have a conversation. Science and Mind magazines are in the back. Like I said, they are amazing. If you buy one and don't get anything out of it, come see me. I will refund you your money personally because I totally believe in it. And then we have all of these new committees and things going on. There are sign-up sheets in the back, so please sign up if you're interested in joining a committee or if you're just interested in finding out about one. There are sign-up sheets, so please sign up there. Oh, our annual meeting is going to be April 12th, so please mark your calendars now. We need everybody to come to the annual meeting. Okay. So now I'm going to present somebody very special to this community, very important to our community, and who saves my butt every Sunday. Vern Miller is on our leadership council, and he runs the IT team. And this morning we couldn't get the sound to work. He always makes it work. He shows up consistently. He has been a big part of getting us in the black for our community, and I just can't say enough about, I don't know what I would do without Vern in my life, in this community, and I just can't say enough about him, so I'm just gonna let him talk.
Well, thank you, Laurie, for that wonderful introduction, and definitely this is my home away from home, and I really feel connected with the teaching, and so somehow I got to be the IT coordinator. And we do have a sign-up sheet if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the IT and what that is. Today it's primarily managing the streaming system, and we're looking at things that we might be able to do to improve it. Late last fall, we did receive a Hefferland grant, and Fernando did an excellent job of putting together the request for the grant. And so we have this grant money that is being set aside to look at newer types of technology. There are some professional streaming systems that exist that we may end up deciding to go for. The way we currently stream, because we have all this bright background, it makes people look a little bit dark. And to solve it, yes, we're going to put a big spotlight right here on the individual.
No, we aren't.
No, but there's some interesting things that we can do short term, and looking at it a little bit longer, we're going to try to get the very best kind of streaming where we can adjust the contrast and the lighting and the sound and do some interesting things. If you have some time and you want to learn about the current streaming system, I plan to offer sort of like a workshop sometime in April, and we'll go through the updated user manual. Mark was kind enough to substitute for me one time, and it can be a fun project, and there's no arm twisting, and the best way to learn something like this is through mentoring, and I will work with somebody who has an interest, and part of the workshop will allow everybody who's participating to actually learn the steps for streaming and turning your streaming off afterwards. So stay tuned. And sign up if you have an interest, because it can be a lot of fun. And I look at it as part of doing service for this community. So,
Thank you, Vern, for all you do. Okay, so now I'm going to do the closing treatment, and then Grayson is going to come up and close us out with another great original song. So I invite you first to close your eyes and to hear these words as if they come from that inner pristine field within you, because they do. And so I know this truth. I know that there is one beautiful field of consciousness, that we are all perfect, whole, and complete within, that we are divine expressions of this one source. And so as such, we have access to all the agency to co-create our lives and to create a painting, a landscape of beauty, of joy, of truth, of wisdom, of shared community, of grace, of vitality, of well-being. All of the good that we desire is available to us, and it all starts within. And I know that as a community, we are doing our inner work so that we can show up as a greater force of love in this world that so badly needs us. And so I simply affirm this truth for each one listening. Today I paint my inner landscape with love. Today I show up as love. And so it is. Grayson.
So this song I can't take full credit for. I wrote it when I was in the band in 2020 to 2022. But we all wrote it together, so I can still say it's partly
Co-created.
co-created, exactly.
Destination I don't know, it seems there's nothing out this far. Traveled from the earth so far, I've seen every planet in the galaxy. Oceans to the clouds of light, the energy I feel is so sweet. Gotta find myself some other galaxy. Going somewhere so far, you can say I'm a shooting star. Gotta find my way out of this reality. It's like a supernova going off inside my head, but the blast was ain't right in the way. Lost in space and time, and I can't
available for Treatment Express if anybody wants treatment. Next week, our speaker will be Reverend Stacy Lasacco, and our music will be Karen Crittenden. So come back next week. That's a new musician. And the speaker, Stacy, has, I think, been here before, no? She's from Rockland County. I know her. But so anyway, come back and see her next week. We have social hour, thanks to Jean Lee, and it was supposed to be Christy and Lynn, but neither of them are here, so I don't know who else participated. Kathy, you know, once again, it's the beautiful thing about this community. We always have enough. Everything always works out, right? So somebody doesn't make it, somebody else steps in. It's a beautiful thing. So I invite you to stay for social hour and then come back for the amazing sound bath with Kat Roman. I'll be doing the registration. If you are not signed up and you want to sign up, come see me. Okay? All right. Great.